Welcome everyone. Today we are going to learn in detail about the solid state. Here are few examples of the solid structures of the different compounds. Solids. Solids have definite volume, shape and mass due to the short distance between the fixed position of particles and strong interactions between them. That is the reason why the water flows and ice cube floats. Characteristic properties of solid. We know that solids have definite mass, volume and shape because their intermolecular distances are very short, due to which the intermolecular forces of attractions are strong. Their constituent particles like atoms, molecules or ions have fixed positions and can only oscillate about their main positions. They are incompressible and rigid as the molecules in it are tightly packed. Solids can be classified into two types, amorphous and crystalline. Now what are amorphous? Amorphous are the solids that lacks an ordered internal structure. Hence, they are isotropic. They don't have sharp melting points. For example, rubber, plastic, gels, soap. Supercooled liquid, that is glass. Glass is made by cooling a mixture of material in such a way that it does not crystallize. Hence, glass also comes under amorphous. Crystalline substance examples snowflakes, diamond, table salt. Ample of examples in your surrounding. You can see those the things that are shining. They are coming under the crystalline solids. They have the characteristic shape and isotropic in nature and have sharp melting point. Crystalline solids are again classified into ionic solids, covalent solids, molecular solids, and metallic solids. So here are the examples of different types of solids, that is ionic solids, say sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, zinc sulfide, calcium fluoride. Metallic solids are all different types of metals are coming under the metallic solids. Covalent solids, we do have the graphite, diamond. Covalent solid is again classified into two-dimensional and three-dimensional. So in two-dimensional, the graphite, mica, these all are coming under the two-dimensional covalent solid. Covalent solid are also known as network solids that are formed, the solids that are formed by the networking structure. And diamond, quartz, boron nitride, aluminum nitride, these all comes under the 3D covalent solids. Molecular solids that are formed by the presence of molecules. These are again classified into three different types, that is polar solid, non-polar solid and hydrogen bonded solids. So polar solids that are polar in nature with the having the electronegativity difference between them, that is HCl, SO2. For non-polar solids, argon, CCl4, H2, I2, CO2, and hydrogen bonded solid, the basic example is water molecules. Next, we need to learn about crystal lattice and unit cells. So, first of all, we will talk about what is a crystal lattice. So, a lattice can be generated by repeating a small portion called the unit cell. I repeat, a lattice can be generated by repeating a small portion called the unit cell. Next, what is unit cell? So unit cell is the building block of a crystal. and it is the smallest repeating unit of a complete crystal lattice. Hence, we have different types of unit cells, say primitive cubic unit cell, body-centered cubic unit cell, face-centered cubic unit cell. And here comes the picture of simple cubic, face-centered and body-centered cubic unit cell. Next, a crystal lattice is made up of atoms. A crystal lattice is made of points. A crystal system is a set of axes, that is X, Y, and Z. In other words, crystal lattice is a structure is an ordered array of atoms, ions, or molecules. Each point in a lattice is called lattice point or lattice site. Each point in a crystal lattice represents one constituent particle, which may be an atom, a molecule, or an ion. Lattice points are joined by straight line to bring about the geometry of the lattice. Now, how many atoms are present in a unit cell? This is the simple cubic unit cell. As you can see, here total 8 spherical balls you can see. But all these 8, the whole 8 ball is not the part of the unit cell. Only 1/8 part of these of an atom or a sphere is a part of the unit cell. Hence, 8 corners. So, 1 by 8 into 8 will give you 1 atom. Next comes the body-centered cubic unit cell. Now, in body-centered cubic unit cell, you can see as we have 8 atoms in the corner that will be there, and body-centered means in the center of your cube, in the center of the body, one complete whole atom is there, which I have represented in the pink color. So, number of atoms in body-centered cubic unit cell is 8 corners. And how much portion of the atom present over here? 1/8. So 8 into 1 by 8, that gives you 1 atom. And in the center of the cubic unit cell, we have 1 atom. So totally it has 2 atoms in the body-centered cubic unit cell. Next comes the face-centered cubic unit cell. Let's consider, I hope you remembered what are the faces. That is, a cube has 6 faces. Now, for face-centered cubic unit cell, on each face there exists an atom. Now, if you see, only half portion of these atom is inside the cell. Rest half portion is outside the cell. As the half portion is the outside the cell, so we are not going to consider as a part of the cell. Hence, 8 corners, so 8 into 1 by 8, that gives you 1 atom, and 6 faces, and half portion of the atom is present on each face. Hence, it will be equal to 6 into 1 by 2, which gives 3 atoms. Therefore, totally face-centered cubic unit cell has 3 plus 1, 4 atoms. Next, we are going to talk about the closed packed structures. In closed packed structures, what we are going to see. Hence, in solids, the constituent particles are closely packed, leaving the minimum vacant space. Therefore, close packing in one-dimensional is that is spheres are arranged in a row such that adjacent atoms are in contact with each other. Can you see here the spheres are arranged over here? Right, I hope you can see here the spheres. It is in one-dimensional structure. So, if you see this purple dark end sphere, it is attached with 2 other carbon atoms. Similarly, red colored dark sphere is attached with 2 other spheres or 2 other atoms. Hence, the coordination number is equals to 2 for the closed packing structure in one-dimensional. Coordination means at a time a single atom can coordinate to how many atoms or attach to how many atoms. So this is the linear structure where a single atom is attached to only two atoms. Therefore, its coordination number is equals to 2. Next, when we are talking about the 2D structure, closed packing in 2D structure, at that moment you can see here two possibilities are there. Either you arrange with the terms of stack A layers, that is one above the another, or you arrange like the second options, like right in between two, the other atom is arranged, that is AB stack. Now, if we are talking about A stack, that means it gives us a square close packing. Now, how come it is giving us a square close packing? Because here you can see the center atom is attached with four other atoms and it gives rise to a square structure. Whereas in stack AB structure, you can see it is giving a hexagonal close packing. We can also call it as HCP. HCP stands for hexagonal close packing. That is, at a time, a single atom is attached with the six other atoms. Okay, now next is close packing in three-dimensional. Now when we say close packing in three-dimensional, we have ABC stack as seen in the picture, right? So crystalline solids exhibit a regular and repeating pattern of constituent particles. 3D closed packing are 3D closed packing from 2D square closed pack layers, whereas 3D closed packing from 2D hexagonal closed pack layers. Therefore, the coordination number is equals to 12. Formula of a compound and number of voids filled. How to determine the formula of the compounds with respect to the given voids. Now, what are voids? If you see, when we are getting into the 3D structure, right, on the right hand side corner over here, if you arrange the three sphere like this in a triangular shape, you will observe that inside there exists a hole, and on that particular hole we are placing another atom. So that hole is created by a tetrahedral structure, and if I reverse it right ups and down, then an octahedral void, octahedral hole is created because it's give rise to an octahedral structure. Now repetition, I mean if you double the tetrahedral structure, it gives a rise to the octahedral structure. Hence, void in solid state means the vacant space between the constituent particles in a closed packed structure. I repeat, void in solid state means the vacant space between the constituent particles in a closed packed structure. So we have tetrahedral voids and octahedral voids. Here comes the tetrahedral voids and the octahedral voids, how it is created in a crystalline lattice. Now, packing efficiency means how many atoms can be packed in a given crystal structure, which depends, packing efficiency depends upon the arrangements of atoms and type of packing. Here we have few examples such as HCP, which is hexagonal close packing, and B, that is the cubic close packing. Formula to find out the packing efficiency, we calculate in terms of percentage. Therefore, it is equals to number of atoms into volume occupied by one shell upon total volume of unit cell into 100. Let's see the packing efficiency of different cubic unit cell. Packing efficiency is defined as the percentage of space occupied by constituent particles packed inside the lattice. Right, it is defined as the percentage of space occupied by constituent particles packed inside the lattice. It can be calculated with the help of geometry in three structures only, that is HCP and CCP. Next is BCC and simple cubic lattice structure. Factors affecting packing efficiencies are volume of unit cell, number of atoms in a structure, and volume of atoms. So three factors which affects the packing efficiency, they are volume of unit cell, number of atoms in a structure, and volume of atoms. Here is the calculation to show how can we calculate the packing efficiency for HCP and CCP structure. Here we have an structure, that is cubic close packing or hexagonal close packing structure. Now looking at this, you can see that these atoms are arranged in a diagonally, that is corner atoms, and inside a center atom is there, which is also coming under the face centered atoms, right? Atom B. Okay, that is your diameter. They have marked as. So looking at the ABCD face of the cube, we see a triangle ABC. We see a right angle triangle ABC. Let the radius of each sphere ball be R. Correlating radius and age of the cube, we get, according to the Pythagoras theorem, AC square. Right, your AC square is equals to BC square plus AB square. Now, what is AC? AC, we can see this is your B. AC is nothing but the complete point A to C. It is been marked as small b. Okay, and BC is your A, because we have the edge length A, and cubic means all the sides are of equal length. So substituting this value, we obtain 4r is equals to under root of 2a, or else a is equals to 2 root 2r. And hence, by taking the volume, right, volume occupied by them is 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Now why it is 4? Because there are 4 spheres in a CCP structure unit cell, and volume of a cube is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So it is multiplied by 4. By substituting all the values in the given formula, we obtain the packing efficiency in FCC and HCP structure. It is 74%. Similarly, in HCP lattice, the relation between radius r and edge length of the unit cell A is r is equals to 2a and number of atoms is 6. Now, few examples of this structure, it is beryllium, magnesium, titanium, etc. Similar manner, you can calculate the packing efficiency for body-centered cubic structure. Substituting the values calculated, we obtain the packing efficiency for body-centered cubic structure is 68%. In the same manner, the packing efficiency of simple unit cell is 52.4%. Importance of packing efficiency. How does it help us? It helps us to define the structure of solid. It specifies different properties of solids such as density, consistency, isotropy. Several attributes of solids can be derived with the help of packing efficiency. Calculations involving unit cell dimensions, which gives us mass of unit cell is equals to number of atoms in unit cell into mass of each atom, where you can, that is equals to Z into M, where Z is number of atoms in the unit cell and small m is mass of each atom. So volume of unit cell V is equals to A cube. Density of unit cell is equals to mass of unit cell upon the volume of the unit cell. Therefore, density of unit cell is equals to mass upon volume is equals to Z into Ma upon A cube. We get Zm upon A cube into Na, where Na is Avogadro's number. Next, we are going to learn about defects in solids. Now, what are defects? Defects mean some impurities, some changes, some faults in the structure. That is known as defects. Now, defects in solids is classified on the basically three types: impurity defects, stoichiometric defects, and non-stoichiometric defects. Stoichiometric defects is again classified into four different types known as Schottky defect, Frankel defect, vacancy defect, and interstitial defect. Whereas non-stoichiometric defects is classified into metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Here, how the defect is been shown, that is in vacancy defect, you can see some of the atoms are missing. Hence, a vacant space is created in between. Next, when we were talking about the ion pair vacancy, that means one positive and one negative ions are missing. Interstitial defect, when the interstitial gap is created between this, and here you can see the type of defect is termed as the Frankel defect. Frankel defect shows that the one of the ion, it changes its place and shows a vacancy. Hence, we are going to learn the defects in detail. Point defect explains about the imperfections of solid along with the type of point defects. They are accounted for when the crystallization process occurs at a very fast rate. These defects mainly happen due to deviation in the arrangement of constituting particles. Hence, point defects are the irregularities or deviations from ideal arrangement around a point or an atom in a crystalline substance, whereas line defects are the irregularities or deviations from an ideal arrangement in entire rows of lattice points. These irregularities are called crystal defects. The point defects are stoichiometric defect. Stoichiometric defects are only the Frankel defect and Schottky defect. Stoichiometric defects comes out with the changes that the ratio of positive and negative ions and electrical neutrality of a solid is not disturbed. That is, it maintains the stoichiometry, though there are changes in the position, but the stoichiometry is maintained. Sometimes stoichiometric defects are also known as intrinsic or thermodynamic defects. Fundamentally, stoichiometric defects are of two types, that is vacancy defect and interstitial defect. Both vacancy and interstitial defects are only the non-ionic solids. For ionic solids that maintains the neutrality of the crystals are shown by Frankel and Schottky defects. So here comes the Frankel and you can see the vacancy defect and interstitial site defect. With the examples, this is the interstitial defect, how impurity gets into it. Next comes the Frankel defect. Frankel defect shows is seen in the ionic solids like NaCl. Now, when this defect is shown, you can see in this picture that the position of Na plus, that is the positive ion, is changed, is shifted, and the vacancy is created into it. Right, so vacancy defect is created on its original position and the interstitial defect is experienced at its new position. That is given by Frankel defect. Schottky defect, both the positive ions and negative ions are missing. Right, hence this kind of vacancy defect is found in ionic solids. We need to balance the electrical neutrality. Schottky defects is due to balancing the electrical neutrality of the compound. It reduces the density of the substance. In Frankel defect, density is not reduced, density is as it is, whereas in Schottky defect, the density of the substance is reduced. So these are the difference between the Schottky defect and Frankel defect, which is very, very important. Schottky defect, it is due to equal number of cations and anions missing from the lattice site, results in decrease in density of the crystal. This type of defect is found in highly ionic compounds with coordination number, high coordination number. Whereas Frankel defect is due to the missing of the ions, usually cations, from the lattice site, and they occupy the interstitial site, so hence they do not affect on the density of crystal. And these are found in the crystal where the difference in the size of cations and anions is very large. Impurity defect in the molten state, NaCl. Impurity defect in the molten state, NaCl contains a small amount of SrCl2 in the form of impurity in the crystal. Due to the presence of strontium chloride, some site of Na plus ion is occupied by strontium ion. For maintaining the neutrality of the crystal, one strontium ion replaces two sodium ions, and remaining one site of sodium ion will be vacant. So this causes the impurity defect. Non-stoichiometric defects basically is shown by the compound of d block elements of the periodic table, and the type of defects are metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Metal excess defect is due to the anionic vacancy. When a compound having excess metal ion, if an ion is absent from the lattice site, there it creates a void, while is there occupied by an electron. Basically, this kind of defect is shown by sodium chloride, potassium chloride, and lithium chloride. And they help us to create F center. These F center give different colors, like sodium chloride gives a yellow color, potassium chloride gives a violet color, and hydrochloric acid gives pink color. Here comes zinc oxide. Heating, it produces zinc ions plus half oxygen gas plus 2 electrons. Next comes metal deficiency defect. In this defect, some cations are missing from the lattice site, and for maintaining its electrical neutrality, another remaining cation will increase their valency. For example, iron oxide, which is found with a composition of Fe 0.950, it may actually range from Fe 0.930 to Fe 0.960. In the crystals of FeO, some Fe2 cations are missing, and the loss of positive charge is made up by the presence of the required number of Fe3 plus ions.